Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. I very welcome my friends and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching, ouch. I don't do the touching. Hello and welcome back to Big Mouth, and you can keep this and any other conversation I ignite going over on my Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and also on my Vero Big Mouth 1, and the extension of this channel is my Instagram Big Mouth. Hello and welcome to Big Mouth, and welcome to the beginning of the week, Monday's edition of the dceu Daily. And just on spit point right, there's a moth there. I can't believe it. Comes near me and I'm whacking it. So yesterday, Ray Fisher proved again and reminded us again what a beautiful human being he is. This is the actor who played Cyborg in the Justice League movie, in both versions, the Snyder Cut and the theatrical version. Now, this is what he posted. In July of 2017, Justice League star Ray Fisher Cyborg appeared at San Diego Comic-Con and revealed the now infamous I Love Zack Snyder t-shirt. In a gesture of solidarity and support for director Zack Snyder, who would not be present as he had left the film's production earlier in the year after a family tragedy. The following year at SDC 18, unsure of whether Snyder would be attending in person or not, fans wanted to ensure that support for Zack would be visible and that presence would be felt, inspired by Ray Fisher's t-shirt gesture. A group of fans, the Nerd Queens, we know the Nerd Queens are great, aren't they? Cole and, is it Nana? Together with TP2, is it? Abdul, Anthony, Darren, David, Dexter, Gerardo, Fiona, Jonathan, Justin, Carl and Mick collaborated on a project to self-fund and freely distribute hundreds of identical I Love Zack Snyder designed t-shirts to fans attending Hall H. Support for Zack and demand for the t-shirts was so high they were snatched up quickly, and many fans who missed out asked where they could get a t-shirt, and they would gladly pay for them. Meanwhile, Zack's fans had already been involved in a campaign for suicide awareness, donating and fundraising for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. It occurred to us that if fans were eager to show support for Zack through Ray's t-shirt, we could marry the two while helping drive awareness and funding for suicide prevention. After discovering inktothepeople.com and reaching out to the AFSP, we created our first charity t-shirt campaign in honor of both Zack and Ray to try and help make a difference. Further inspired by Zack's motto that powerful art can heal, bring awareness and create change, we decided to leverage artistic talent with the fan community, notably Ramesh De Silva. And we all love Ramesh, don't we? Excuse me. And embarked upon a series of fan-designed charity t-shirt campaigns carrying messages of hope, empowerment and unity. The rest is history. Together, the fan t-shirt campaigns, along with Zack's All the Gods, raised approximately $90,000, as well as a widespread awareness for the AFSP and their life-saving research and services. All of this began with a spark inspired by a powerful gesture and a symbol of love and solidarity from Ray Fisher to his friend Zack Snyder. We are proud to keep the legacy of that initial spark alive and burning within the fan community with a special edition relaunch by popular demand of the shirt that started it all. This time featuring all new Release the Snyder Cut twist. Thank you, Ray, for the inspiration. Don't tell me that the Release the Snyder Cut community, the DCEU Snyder film fans, are toxic. This is the most beautiful thing I have ever heard. Well done, everyone. This is absolutely fantastic, and I applaud you. So I absolutely want one of these t-shirts. I don't know how to get one, but I absolutely will make it my mission in life to receive one. So remember, people, the more they keep on saying that we're toxic, the more we keep on exposing these people. So it's a big week this week because I think from Saturday onwards, we've got this Brazil Fan Expo. And I'm just trying to work out these times for Europe, right? So this is what we've got. We've got Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot, Sunday, December the 8th, 5:30 to 6:15 p.m. So this, I'm assuming, means American time, right? Not Brazil time, American time, because this was posted by Warner Brothers. So 5:30 p.m., 6:15. I mean, that's going to be late European time. I would say that might even be 10, 11, midnight on Saturday. No, actually, it's not Saturday. We're probably talking late Saturday night, early Monday morning. So as I say, it's really confusing if you're in Europe, but these are the times for you, America. So you're all right, Jack, but we're not. Right, anyway. We then have Margot Robbie, who obviously plays Margot. What am I talking about? Who plays Harley Quinn. She played Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, of course, and in an upcoming film released in February, Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Now she's turning up Thursday, December the 5th at 8 p.m. to 8:45. And Kathy Yan, who obviously directed Birds of Prey, the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, will be there with Margot, 8 p.m. to 8:45. Again, probably early hours of Friday morning. So when we wake up on Saturday for that one. So, or should I say Friday? Look, I'm getting confused. Well, look, I'll work it out and I'll translate the schedule for you because I need to know. Because obviously my DCEU daily, of either on whatever days these are. Look, I'm as confused as you are, right? So we're going to work this out. But I am very, very excited. I'm very excited what Gal and Patty will say about Wonder Woman 1984 and what the film's all about. Obviously, they're not going to let too much out of the bag, but this is a very important film. There's been so many things said about this. This film's been accused of being a course correction of the Snyder universe. Both women have been accused of throwing Zack Snyder under the bus. I do not believe this, and I'm not going for that narrative. And I'm really, really desperate to listen to what Kathy Yan has to say because I've not really heard her say much. I've read here on the channel some of the things she said. Now, it's an important moment for this film because if they do go for this kind of anti-men thing, this toxic masculinity thing, I mean, we already know Ewan McGregor did an interview saying that this film, you may not notice it, but that's the message of this film. If those two women were to come to Brazil and start talking in those terms, this film has a risk of being a flop. They mustn't go down these avenues. And this is what Hollywood have got to learn. If you want to do these things, don't talk about them. Let the film do the talking for you, or you're just going to upset us. And at the end of the day, shouting out your political messages is going to hurt the studio, and it's going to hurt the DC fandom and DC Comics, and you don't want to do that. So very, very interesting. I'm very, very excited to see what they say, and of course I will react to it and respond to it as usual, because this is not just a channel, or let me just say these videos, because I talk about a great variety of things on Big Mouth. But the DCEU Daily isn't just about saying, hello, the news today, and then moving on. This is about think pieces. This is a video. I started this video so I could tell you what I think. And the more I look at it, the more I see that you're kind of interested in what I've got to say. And that's a wonderful thing, because you're so important to this channel. This channel is slowly growing little legs, and they're getting slightly bigger. And that's interesting to me. Now, without you guys, there's no channel. Literally, right? It will be me talking to myself. I'd still do the videos because I talk to myself daily because I'm nuts, right? But it's great to see people say, Mick, we love what you do. We love the video. So it's awesome. But without you guys, there is no Big Mouth. There is no DCEU Daily. And I just want to thank everyone for that, because the channel is growing slowly, pigeon steps, which is amazing, really, because I think we're at the precipice of something big here when I look at the number of subscribers. I mean, they go up, they go down a bit, but I'm happy considering I don't advertise the channel. I share each video once it's uploaded. I'm using this built-in mic and built-in camera on this Lenovo laptop. So I'm really happy. This was always an experiment to see, without promotion, without fake subs, to see how far I could get without really investing no money apart from the money that it took me to buy this laptop. I bought this laptop basically so I could set up this channel. So thank you everyone. You mean a great deal to me, and it's been a hard year, as you know, losing my mum, and you guys have been great. Just seeing you turn up for the videos is a beautiful thing. Anyone love Jay Oliver here? I love Jay Oliver. I think we should do, not maybe every episode of the DCEU Daily, but as much as we can, we should do Jay Oliver Says. We should do a segment like that. And today we're going to do Jay Oliver Says. So Jay Oliver Says, this is fun. Hang on. So let's just see what he's got to say. I can't be bothered to read the other guy's stuff out, but this is what he says. AT&T is the new owner of WB, and they are like 150 billion in debt after buying DirecTV and WB. Do you really think they are going to turn down money for a film they already paid for? From a business standpoint, what would stop you from releasing it? Here's what irks me the most. I come in politely, correct someone's claims about a subject I have direct knowledge about, and they block me. Like a little kid sticking their fingers in their ear, yelling, no, I'm right, and you are wrong. Oh, it's just so brilliant. There's a big difference between a press release in Variety and Hollywood Reporter and an opinion piece that's written to generate clicks rather than actually report anything new. There's more info on Twitter. Well done, Jay. I love that. I love how people like to cherry pick what I've been saying. So the hundreds of tweets where I'm talking about the Snyder Cut and the movement, that's the one they want to believe as the gospel truth. We live in a scary time where people are so afraid of being wrong that they are unwilling to hear the truth. It's okay to be wrong. We all make mistakes. Oh dear, this guy's brilliant. Let's see if we can find anything else. Anything else? Anything else here? Let's see what he says here. For some reason, the editors for Variety were willing to pay money for this article because they believe it will generate clicks. If it's a dead subject, then why throw cash at the writer? My guess is things are abuzz about what the release of Snyder Cut has accomplished. Yes, I think you are right, Jay. Ha ha ha, Variety has many writers. Just because I disagree which one doesn't mean I've lost it. Please don't characterize me like some crazy guy. My career is fine. I'm working on plenty of projects. I wanted to point out that for official announcements, studios use trades. Interesting. Now, what's interesting to me, is Variety a trade or not? Interesting. I'm taking it from what Jay's saying there, that Variety isn't a trade. I still go to Variety for stuff, but articles like that one is not an official announcement. As the detractors of the release of Snyder Cut movement are claiming, my question was valid. There's buzz going on, and it's because of the fans. Yup. Let's see if he's said anything else. Here's the correct question. If there are no plans to release it, then why even do an article? The film is 2 years old. The Snyder Cut has trended on social media pretty consistently since. It will be easier for Variety to ignore the movement and report upcoming Oscar buzz. For some reason, the editors of Variety were willing, we've read that. The sequel was BBS. It was underway before MOS opened, so please change this fallacy of shoehorning Batman into a sequel. That was always part of the plan. Now, this is very, very interesting, actually, because a lot of bloggers, a lot of YouTubers tried to say that WB were disappointed with the box office of Man of Steel. And I really want to talk about this for a minute, right? And we'll look for more of Jay's tweets because they're really fun and amusing. And I love the way he sits people down. Now, Man of Steel made about 600 million, 650, about 600 million, right? 550, right? Now, at the time, this was on point with other origin movies. Now, what happened after that is the MCU started making billion-dollar grossing origin movies. They did this because the MCU is so big and popular, and they cheat. They cheat because they cross over other characters in their origin movies. Captain Marvel is great evidence of this. Captain Marvel had Samuel Jackson in it, right? From the other films, he plays Nick Fury, right? And then you've got Clark Gregg as Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from the first Avengers movie. People literally came in to watch the film because of them. But now, the SJWs could say, you see, Brie Larson got $1 billion movie. But the truth is, Kevin Feige and the MCU cheat. Now, the 550, 600 million at the time was one of the best kind of box offices globally for an origin movie. Now, it did take a long time to cross 200 million domestically. There's no question about that, because it is a kind of movie that puts Superman in a certain position. This triggered a lot of hardcore Superman fans. If the movie didn't trigger those fans, that movie would have made about $1 billion. But because Zack and David Goyer and Christopher Nolan wrote a kind of typical Christopher Nolan movie, superhero set in the real world. Let's not just talk about Zack Snyder here. He didn't write Man of Steel. You haters give Zack too much credit. Zack Snyder directed this film the way he wanted. He had the freedom to do that, right? But the story was led by David Goyer, and Christopher Nolan tagged along and trusted Dave on that. I think it's a great script, a great screenplay, a great conceit. But this film does trigger hardcore Superman comic fans. We can't deny that. And they have the right to complain about something they don't like. I don't agree with them, but at the end of the day, that is their right. They've bought enough comics, they have supported DC and a character that I love, so they have that right. But in terms of the actual box office of Man of Steel, it kicks Superman Returns box office into touch. Now, I want to talk about something else, but first, let's see if Jay's got any more perlers. I've done a ton of different versions of Superman. Hell, the Flashpoint Superman was a mess of a character, but that version fit that particular story. I grew up with George Reeves as my Superman, but that doesn't stop me from enjoying the various versions like Lois and Clark. I'll actually get back to that one. It's a different take of an iconic character. You may not have liked the third act, but I did. It's cool if you don't like it, but don't knock Zack and Nolan for giving us something that a lot of people enjoyed. I think you just misunderstood what the movie was about. MOS holds a mirror to today's society, and this is a great point and asks the hard question of what would we do if Superman showed up? If aliens were real and one was living amongst us, how would we react? How would Clark react? Someone who grew up with 9/11, Cold War, Iraq, war, internet, etc. Clark is just a normal guy trying to go without. Hang on. Clark is just a normal guy trying to do good without bringing attention to himself. The world is not ready for him. That's the honest truth. Look at today's events. If a Superman showed up now, do you think everyone will be all open arms to him like the Reeves Superman? Again, I'm going to come back to this in a minute because this is really the core subject I want to talk today. We're already on 18 minutes, so please don't go yet because I've got something interesting to say. I think it's interesting anyway. MOS is basically Superman Day One. Exactly. If you didn't realise that when you watched it, then I think you should try watching it again with that in mind. He's a Superman who didn't spend X amount of years learning from Jor-El in the Fortress of Solitude. So I think that's basically it. I think that's really it. Yes, that's it from Jay Oliver. Right. Since this Variety article came out, since Variety kind of tried to claim that Warner Brothers don't know what they want to do with Superman, although they also did say that J.J. Abrams is in talks to head a Superman film, and I think that's what's going to happen. There's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of hate by Snyder fans, Man of Steel fans, against Superman the movie. So I'm a fan of both Man of Steel and Superman the movie. These films mean a hell of a lot to me equally. I will never, ever, ever put these films against each other. But so many people are. People kind of... Movie Twitter is funny, right? And I love reading it sometimes, some of the bullshit that's being said. If you're a Man of Steel fan, I'm hearing people say, you've got to go dark, you've got to go realistic. What Reeves did was wrong. Now, Jay actually kind of alludes to this, and I didn't like it, by the way. I love Jay, but I didn't like what he said. Now, where are we? Yeah, he basically says, let's reread the third line of this. If a Superman showed up now, do you think everyone will be all open arms to him like the Reeves Superman? Right. Now, I don't think Jay's talking against Superman the movie, but this is the point most Snyder fans, most Man of Steel fans are saying. The Superman the movie is, oh yeah, Superman, it's not realistic. Right. Superman the movie is really kind of the fictional way of doing a Superman movie. It's the escapism, right? And Man of Steel, yes, is literally putting Superman in the real world. Not one version isn't wrong. None of the versions are wrong. But some of you people are coming on Twitter saying, yeah, you've got to go dark. Or Superman should be smiling and happy. And everyone should love him. And there should be jokes. And the colour palette should be bright. Should. Whatever Superman version you like, you should go and see. Put it on repeat. That's cool. For me, putting Superman the movie against Man of Steel is the most stupidest, dumbest shit I have ever seen in my life. These are two of the best movies, the best achievements in movie in CBM history. Both movies are brilliant, brilliant. So if you like the light, fantasy Superman, you go and watch the Christopher Reeve one. If you want to see Superman in the real world, you go and watch Man of Steel. Isn't it great you've got a choice? The world is about choice. But don't come on my feed and start telling me that the way Man of Steel was done was the right way and the way Superman the movie was done is the wrong way. Because it's dumb. Both movies are relevant. They're amazing. And they are loved by different types of people. I love both. I do. And there's something else I have to repeat. I said this ages ago on my channel. Superman in Superman 2 doesn't kill Zod and his cohorts. Stop using that as a justification for what Superman did in Man of Steel by killing Zod. It's blatantly obvious, right? In Man of Steel, Superman breaks Zod's neck. He kills him, right? Now in Superman 2, he pushes the three villains and they slide down this thing. You don't know what's there, do you? We don't know if there's crocodiles, or if it's a big chute, or if there's spikes, if they're impaled. We don't know. For all you know, when those three villains are pushed down that chute, they're just in a hole. And then when Superman gets time, Jor-El shows him how to put them back into the Phantom Zone, or there's a prison in the Fortress of Solitude. But there is absolutely no evidence in Superman 2 that Superman kills Zod. Stop using it as a defense. It's dumb. But what's even more dumb, I admit, is the way they did it in Superman 2. And I'm convinced that Richard Donner, if they didn't remove him, wouldn't have done the same thing. No way. It's stupid. He just pushes them down the chute and you don't know what happened to them. But this is what used to happen in the 80s. In the 80s, we didn't really question things that much. Well, we did question our movies and TV. This was an era where Mr. T would hit someone in the A-team and they'd go flying right. Ridiculous, and you'd go, but then you'd go, oh well. We are the oh well generation, right? Now, you lot from this new generation, you're from the over-analysis generation. So you over-analyse everything, which stops you enjoying your movies. Now us, the oh well generation, we actually just said, oh well, and enjoyed what we got. E.T., Lethal Weapon, whatever you want to talk about, right? There's a difference. Those movies and these movies are supposed to be enjoyed. But this generation can't do that. It's interesting, actually. I see Snyder fans and Richard Donner fans, Superman the movie fans, going at it all day on Twitter. But I think we're comrades. Actually, I'm a fan of both directors. I mean, Richard Donner made the first superhero movie. He created the superhero movie. And it's an awesome superhero movie. He directed one of the best horror films ever in The Omen. He made 4 awesome Lethal Weapon films. He could be making a 5th. He was talking about that earlier this year and last year. Fingers crossed on that. His career is amazing. He directed The Goonies. Someone reminded me of that. And Scrooged, one of my favourite Christmas films of all time. And people are putting him down. I no more support Richard Donner being put down than Zack Snyder. In fact, what happened to Zack Snyder on Justice League happened to Richard Donner on Superman 2. They removed him because he wouldn't do things their way on budget. He made a brilliant Superman movie and they betrayed him, like they betrayed Zack. So basically what happened to Dick Donner, right, happened to Zack Snyder. So while we're all spending the day saying, Man of Steel is dark, realistic, and it's better than the Reeves movies, it's dumb, it's stupid, and please stop doing it. Because when you're doing it, you're not hashtagging release the Snyder Cut. You're not saying sensible things. Analyse the DCEU by all means. Analyse the Reeves Superman movies, right? But don't tell me the reason that I love Superman the movie, is a load of crap. First of all, right, I reckon if you asked Zack Snyder and said to him, if you had to make Superman the movie and do what Dick Donner did and make a convincing movie visually as well as everything else and the narrative as well, right, could you do it? I'm convinced Zack would say that would be hard because what Richard Donner achieved with Superman the movie, with no CGI, with one or two effects houses, right, was amazing. It's an amazing achievement. And I think it would be hard for any modern director to achieve what Dick did then. But at the end of the day, Zack Snyder is a brilliant director. So is Richard Donner. Superman the movie is as amazing and awesome as Man of Steel. And for me, that, my friends, is the end of the argument. Finally today, to belabor my point of what I've just said before I pause this video, right, I'm going to read out a thread from this John Rosenberg geezer. He's a verified, as usual, the most toxic people are verified, and we all know that by now, right? Apparently, he claims in his bio, I make comics. He did a thread, right? So where are we? Here we are. So let's go through this man's thread. He triggered a lot of Snyder fans, a lot of DCEU fans. I'm going to react to this quickly because this is a really long video and my internet's rubbish and it takes ages to upload. But this really belabels what I just said with the stupid arguments, Man of Steel versus Superman the movie. So this is what John has to say. You don't make a Superman movie by making him relatable to today's audiences, by bringing him down to our level. You stick him in our hellhole and you show the audience how he maintains his values in the face of adversity. You make him a role model, dumbasses. You see? Toxic, right? Are verified. They're toxic. Most of them are toxic. I've got some good friends that are verified, but some of these people, I don't even know how they get their verified blue check mark. Anyway, we go on. Superman isn't Batman. He's not dark. He's not brooding. He's not conflicted. He's a hard-working immigrant who's determined to make his adopted country a safer, better place, despite arsehole billionaires ruining everything. Again, his politics are getting in there. Not that I'm saying his politics are wrong, by the way. But basically, this is the really funny thing about it as well. So he's saying to make his adopted country. So obviously he thinks it's more about America. But this is the thing where me and John already disagree. Superman isn't a protector of America. America is not his adopted place. It's the Earth. He's here to protect the Earth. Anyway, the market for Batman 89 is gone. Stop making movies for 1989. He's very angry. If you want to make Superman relevant for today's you, make him a socialist reporter trying to bring Lex Luthor down with his dailybugle.com exposed and his Twitter account. Oh, God. I like the idea of him maybe being a socialist. That would be kind of interesting. And by the way, it's the Daily Planet, not the Daily Bugle, so you clearly know a lot about Superman, don't you? Warner Brothers, call me, bros. Warner Brothers aren't going to call you because you're an idiot. First of all, mate, when you insult people, a studio isn't going to be interested in you. They're not going to be interested in me because I insult people too. So there you go. Marvel superheroes are meant to live in the real world. They are meant to grow with it. DC characters represent timeless ideals. They are not from any particular era, but they do seem to work well when their origins are respected. The Paul Dini animated shows know this. Dark comic book movies were a gift in '89 because most movies geared towards the market were bright, garish and uncomplicated, darkness was something new in a sea of conformity. Now everything is dark. Dark is the standard. You need to be bright to stand out. Everything is dark. What's dark? Star Wars isn't dark since Disney have bought it. The Marvel Cinematic Universe isn't dark. Basically, the Disney animated movies and the Disney live action fairy tale movies are not dark. So what exactly is dark, John? Listen to this. This is where he gives himself away. This is so hilarious. People like the MCU because it's fun. Start there. No. We've already tried that with Justice League and we saw what happened, didn't we, John? Again, John. Oh, one more thought. If you really want to understand Superman and where he comes from, go read Michael Chabon's The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. No, I know where Superman comes from. He comes from Krypton. When he was a little boy, he was sent to Earth. That's all I need to know. Thank you. It's fiction, but it effectively communicates the experience of what it must have been like to be Siegel and Schuster and other artists of the era. Yeah, I think what he's getting at there, and I don't want to get my channel deleted, so I'm not going to say. Well, the clue's in the name Rosenberg. Anyway. These characters didn't spring up from nowhere. They represent the lived experience and hopes and dreams and fears of real people. They felt that experiences were valuable enough to share in this format. I think it's important to honour that if you want to create an authentic Superman experience, to ignore it is to destroy what made it good in the first place. Also, Chabon is running Picard, so we've got that to look forward to. Yeah, because the fans are really excited about that, aren't they? Maybe let Chabon write a Superman movie? No. If you made it this far, congratulations. Go read my comics. No, mate, we're not reading your comics. Basically, this geezer has tried to trick people just to kind of lure them into reading his comics. But basically, this is the attitude that I'm talking about. The attitude is basically that, oh, right, Superman should be this way and not that way. And I say this to the Snyder fans as well as people like this. You know, betrayal of Superman. Oh, he should be this way, he should be that way. Oh, the studio's betrayed him. Look, the studio has betrayed Superman because the studio has never ever thought, wow, we have this amazing character. Even in 78, they had this amazing Superman movie. So what did they do? They allowed the Salkinds to sack Donner and they didn't intervene, right? That was their first mistake. We know that Dick Donner and Tom Mankiewicz, the guy who pretty much wrote Superman the movie, rewrote it and made it the awesome movie that it was. They had plans for a Superman 2, a 3, a 4, maybe even 5. They're out of Dick Donner's own mouth. We could have had one already awesome franchise, right? But Warner Brothers don't have a clue. There's something wrong with them when it comes to Superman. I think that Superman is so important to them. They're so scared to make a misstep, which has made them make plenty of missteps, not just on the big screen, but on the small screen too. Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, is a great example, which a lot of people like that. I hate it, by the way. I think it's amateur crap, and it didn't work for me, but I loved Smallville, and he barely wears the costume in that series, but I think they did this great kind of Hamlet version of Superman, showing us his origins and this whole trials of Clark Kent and Lex Luthor. But the whole point I'm trying to say here, before I close up, because this video is very, very long, and this is my final thought. This is Mick's final thought of the day. Superman doesn't have to be dark or light. What? I know this is really old-fashioned. What if he's a bit of both? We just see the light, we see the dark, we see the violent, we see the compelling, we see the pure-heartedness of Superman. We see a bit of both. In fact, didn't we see a film like that called Man of Steel? Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Please tell people about the channel, share the channel. Please tell everyone about me. And thank you for watching. And I'll be back tomorrow for more DCEU Daily. I really need a glass of water.